in this video, I will talk about double object pronouns, pronombres de objeto dobles. You should have learned direct object pronouns and indirect object pronouns. You should have covered that before to be able to understand this. If not, make sure you look at the previous videos. And let's see. First of all, what do we need to do? Identify the different parts, the different elements. Identifica los elementos. Tenemos una frase, we have a sentence. Luis y Sara, we have usually a person, a person or people, someone that is doing an action. It can be a thing too. But then subject, we have a verb and a direct object. ¿Qué cocinan? What are they cooking? Tacos. That is going to be the direct object. And then to whom, for whom are they doing this? For whom are they cooking the tacos? For Cristina. ¿A quién? To whom cocinan tacos? A Cristina. Objeto indirecto. Once we identify the two objects, and there are different other sentences, he buys, direct object, indirect object, he buys this for these people, for his family. Then we need to remember the pronouns. Remember, okay, we have the direct object pronouns are the first ones that we learn. Me, te, lo, la, nos, os, los, las. Once we identify the direct object, we'll be replacing it with one of these. And then we have the indirect object. Once we know the object, we can replace it with a pronoun. Or actually, be careful because remember that if you have an indirect object in the sentence, you need the pronoun. So it's going to be the pronoun and the indirect object in the sentence sometimes. Me, te, le, nos, os, le. Good. So now let's try to replace the objects. Let's identify someone is doing something, is sending, Maria is sending verb, a letter, direct object, to me, indirect object. Okay? Direct object, indirect object. Now remember, if there is an indirect object in the sentence, like I just said, you need the pronoun, right? You cannot just leave the object by itself. It needs the pronoun. So this would be the actual correct sentence. María me manda una carta a mí. Good. Now, where do we go from here? We know the different parts. We have the indirect object, the direct. What do we do? Well, how do we replace them? One is already there. We have one pronoun already there, right? The indirect object pronoun. And what about the direct object? Where do we have the pronoun if we want to replace this and not use the object? Let's see. María me manda una carta a mí, same example, objeto directo, objeto indirecto. What pronouns are we going to use? One, we already have it. We already have one there. Me, if it's a mí, is me. And I would say write down, let me see, let's go back real quick. Write down here, all of these on your notebook, okay? Pronombres de objeto directo, and put these first because you'll see that the indirect object pronoun is going to go first in a sentence when you replace both. Write these down and write these down. Pause the video, write them down because we're going to use them. Okay, let me go back. Okay. Now, we said, yeah, the indirect object that will replace, indirect object pronoun that will replace this object is me. Because it's a mí will replace with me. We've been doing this before. Direct object. What are the direct object pronouns? Me, te, lo, la, nos, os, los, las. Which one is the one that we use to replace this noun? Una carta, a letter. It's feminine and it's singular, so we'll replace it with la. Okay, so where do we put that me and that la? The me is already there. We already said that. So let's see. We're going to put them right in front of the verb. In front, see the subject, the verb, I didn't change anything, okay? The indirect one goes first, like I said earlier, and then you put the direct one right there. That's it. Perfect. So, cocinamos el pollo. We cook We have a verb, we don't have the subject, it's fine. We know that it's we because we see it in the ending. Cocinamos el pollo para vosotros. If we replace this with objects, el pollo is the direct object, we'll replace it with lo. And para vosotros, vosotros will be replacing this with os. So if we put it in front of the verb, os lo cocinamos. We cook, this is literally, we cook it, el pollo, to you guys. We cook it for you. We cook it for you guys. That's what it means. We're just, using less words. That's ultimately what all languages try to do. Same thing in English. La chica te lee un libro a ti. Okay, what do we have here? We have someone, the girl, she reads a book to you. And you already see that te there because since you have an indirect object, you need the indirect object pronoun. Okay, let's try to replace them. The direct is going to be replaced by lo. You can do this slowly, okay? I'm just going fast because this PowerPoint is kind of long and I want to get through it for you guys to understand and also not to do a super long video, which I think it could be already long. So let's see. Oh, remember, if we already have the pronoun the te in the sentence, don't put two tes. Don't put te, lo, le. No, let's just put the te is already there. Just leave it. And then let's put the direct object pronoun in there too. La chica te lo lee. What does that mean? The girl reads it, the book, to you. She reads it to you. La chica te lo lee. Ellos nos sirven la cena. Ooh, what is happening here? They serve, what are they serving? La cena, this is the direct object. Okay, we know. Where is the indirect? Well, we don't have an indirect object, but we do have the indirect object pronoun. This is telling us that there's an indirect object, but we have the pronoun. Ellos, they serve dinner to us. We have the pronoun already there, okay? They serve dinner is going to be replaced by la. They serve it, the dinner, to us. Ellos nos la sirven. Good. Okay, it's already there. Good, now careful. Do you think it's going to be so easy? Okay, so let's see what happens. When you have any of these, so let's say that you have a sentence, the indirect object is going to be replaced by one of these, le or les, and then the direct object is going to be replaced by one of these four, lo or la or los or las. If this happens, if you have one of these two together by one of these four, you need to do something. If they're right next to each other, one of these and one of those, the indirect object, the one that you're using as the indirect object, either the le or the les, becomes se. And I'll give you some examples. Let's see. Yo sirvo la ensalada a mi madre. This is very important, okay? This is also, if you have one of those in the same sentence right next to each other, write it down, take notes. This is important. Okay. Yo sirvo la ensalada a mi madre. I serve the salad is the direct to my mom. Indirect. Okay. If we need to replace them, let's see. It's going to be la ensalada will be replaced by la. Careful, I'm putting the direct object pronouns on top of this, but remember that first we have the indirect and then the direct, okay? Then a mi madre, if it's only one person, is going to be le, okay? So we have one of these with one of those. What happens? You're going to put this one, but it's going to become se. Do you say le la sirvo? We cannot have one of these two with one of those four together right next to each other. We can't. So, no, we're going to do yo se la sirvo. This means I serve it a salad. The direct object, when you're changing both of them, the direct object is never going to change. It will be the direct object pronoun. Good. But the indirect, yes, careful. Oops, go back real quick. I serve it to my mom, to her, but it will be replaced with se. You cannot do le, la, or le, las, or les, los, or les, lo, one of those with the one of those. More examples. Mi madre les cocina el pollo asado a mis amigos. My mom cooks the chicken, roasted chicken, for my friends. If my friends are there, we already have a pronoun right here. Okay? Good. Mi madre les lo cocina. Can we have lo and les and the same, like right next to each other? Nope. We need to say se lo. Mi madre se lo cocina. My mom cooks it to them. My mom is cooking it for them. Ellos le compran un helado a usted. Okay, they buy this for you. So un helado will be lo. A usted is already there. Le. Okay. Can you say le, lo? Can we have the le right next to one of the other four? Lo? No. So then ellos se lo compran. They buy it, the ice cream. They buy it for them. Oh, sorry, a usted, for you. A usted. When we have two verbs, we've seen this before, we always do the same thing. We either put the two the two pronouns in front of the verb, in front of the first verb, or attached to the second verb. So, la profesora, the instructor, we have is going to give the gifts to them. This to them is already there. Les, the pronoun is there. Okay? Then, la profesora, we have the verb, well, it's two verbs, va a dar. We can put them before, but can you do les, los? No, careful. Se los. Okay, good. Now, you can put them in front of the first verb, or you can put them attached to the second verb. Va a dárselos. Here, dárselos. When you add two pronouns to the end, the word gets longer, and you always need an accent mark right there on the last vowel that you had. Dárselos. Okay? This is correct. Whatever looks easier for you, that's how it will go. Because that's when you have two verbs. Otros ejemplos, mis amigos me tienen que pedir, they have to ask for help, direct object, to me. Indirect, and the indirect pronoun is already there, okay? Ayuda is feminine and singular, so it's going to be replaced by la, and a mí will be me, so, and it's already there. So, me la tienen que pedir. Remember, the indirect object pronoun goes first, the direct object pronoun goes right after, in front of the verb, or you could put them all together attached to the infinitive, to the second verb. Tienen que pedírmela, accent mark, right there. There are more examples. Now, well, sometimes you can have, this is the indirect object pronoun. You should show the pictures to me. If you want to just replace one of them, remember that it can go before or after, attach. Tú me las debes mostrar. You can always omit the subject, the tú can be out. That's always in Spanish 1, you can always get rid of the subject because it's actually implicit in here. Tú debes is the you form. Tú debes mostrármelas. Same examples, same format. Okay. There are more examples. You have this PowerPoint in the course in Blackboard. Look at it, look at all of these examples. I want to keep going so that I can get to the end because I really want to look at a few questions. Questions are tricky with the pronouns. Usually they could be tricky. So You need to identify all the parts. Remember that, okay? You buy, the verb is going to tell you who is doing the action. Compras, you buy what? This is the direct object, ice cream. To me, you buy me ice cream. Replace all the pronouns. One is already there, me. And un helado will be replaced with lo. ¿Me lo compras? Do you buy it for me? Can you buy it to me? You buy it for me? Let's answer the question. Remember that if someone is saying compras, this would be a good moment if you haven't watched the video where I explain indirect object pronouns with questions. I give you there a few tricks. So that would be a good time to look at questions and the tricks before you do this. But basically, do you buy this for me? Yes, I buy. Look at the verb. The verb, when you're answering, it changes. Yes, I buy in the yo form. I buy this. This is not going to change. It's going to be whatever it is. Ice cream. Un helado. Lo. To you. Te. This changes. Yes, I'll buy it for you. No, I don't buy it for you. I don't want to buy it. Do I want to buy you ice cream? Okay. These are the tips. And this is the same little table that I had on the other video. So identify the elements always, understand what everything means. And I know it will take time for you to actually use it in speaking. This is just theory. Replace the object with the pronouns, what we did, and then take into account a few things. Maybe you need to change the ending. I buy this for you. You buy this for me. Who is buying? Careful with the ending of the verb. Maybe you have to switch the pronouns. Do you buy me something? Yes, I'll buy you something. So answering questions, you can use this little tip table here. And then remember that the direct object is not going to change. Like I said before, it's not changing. Let me go back here. See? Un helado. If you're buying ice cream, the ice cream stays there. It's lo. It's not going to change. The indirect object, yes. Do you buy it for me? Yes, I'll buy it for you. That changes. And the verb changes too. Okay? Same thing. Do you serve? It's in the you form. You serve this, a coffee, to the guests. That's already there. Les. Sí, se lo sirvo. I serve, the verb changed to the O, to the yo form. I serve this coffee, lo, a los invitados, les. But remember, we cannot do les lo, so I already changed it to se. You can do les lo. Se lo sirvo. I'll serve it to them. Yeah. No, I don't want to serve it to them. No se lo sirvo. Good. Some examples. Again, you can look at the different examples in the PowerPoint and look at all of these. Do you think that me puede explicar la profesora la tarea a mí? Yes, I think te la puede explicar. She can explain it to you, or she can explain it to you. When you have two verbs, remember that you can attach all of these pronouns te la at the end. Puede explicar te la. Accent mark. Some other examples, and that is all. So let me know if you have any questions, contact me, and that's it. Adios, bye.